Oh,
No, you're good. You're good. We hear you.
give me 10 jumping jacks. Let's go.
Look at there we go. Oh, here.
There's Cisco. There you go.
Gotta wake up, guys. Gotta wake up. Look, I'm gonna be real with you guys. Good morning. Last night I didn't get home until 1 o'clock in the morning. It was my wife's birthday. We went to a wonderful concert, like I shared with you guys last week. But I had to show up for you guys, so there is no excuse. I told her, I said, I'm gonna have a good time with you, but at the same time, I have to make it over here this morning. So super excited to be here, guys. Super excited to kick this off. Let's see. Cool deal. So I kind of lost my voice. We were at that Jordan Davis concert. So from screaming and yelling, we had a good time, but now I feel like I'm it's not COVID, I promise, and you won't catch it through the mic. So don't worry about it, guys. You guys are all good. Well, good morning. Happy Monday, the 6th. Super excited about kicking this off, guys. As we had shared, the whole idea about today is really just getting this challenge going. Okay. Why a challenge and what does it, what's the benefit of it, right? So we definitely want to be able to cover that. We want to cover exactly, the idea behind what we're doing, how we're doing it. As always, guys, we always ask for some feedback. So, from the couple of times that we ran this is what, our fourth time
Fourth time.
doing it four
Fourth time.
times. There goes Kev. And it keeps on enhancing, right? But the biggest thing when it comes down to it is a lot of us are your regular 9 to 5, job, have a boss that's telling us what to do, how it is for us to live our lives. And we just wanted to switch that up, right? We wanted to get it to the point where we become our own boss, right? We want to switch that mindset from an associate mindset to a business mindset. So, we developed a challenge really just to throw some logs in the fire, to light our asses on fire, as far as getting the moving going, getting the team, the building, as far as the squatting up. The motivation really comes in the momentum, right? You know what I mean? As far as all of us working with each other, all of us counting on each other, we start to show up for ourselves. So definitely want to be able to highlight the fact that this is not an individual challenge. Okay. Now, some people may be like, oh, I don't want to jump on board with the challenge. Can I still get on the calls? Yes, you can. Obviously I want this to be a learning experience, but challenge yourself. You know what I mean? So when people start to go through this and people start to, the locomotive, right? The train starts to move. You wonder why people are winning. And it's simply because of the fact that they're taking action. Okay. And you're going to see the big difference in what it is that we do, how it is that we do it as a team, and what does it benefit all of us as individuals when it comes down to it. Because again, going back to the fact that a lot of us have jobs and a lot of us try to figure out what it is that we're going to do to run our business. On the side note, could you let all those people in, bro? So at the end of it, let me hide the participants. There you go. And at the end of it, where was that? My train of thought here. When it comes down to everyone pushing, right? Everyone moving forward. It just gets easier that way. Going back to the fact of people having a job, right? When you have a 9 to 5 or you're just getting started, you're wondering like, how do I keep this business working when I'm not working, right? And that is the key component of this. It's the leverage factor. I can't go door knocking every day. I can't make phone calls every single day. I can't meet with homeowners every single day, right? So if we team up with each other, maybe I have Mondays and Wednesdays, and then Leo has Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? And then Kevin has Fridays and Saturdays or Sundays. But the idea is that our business is something where we want to build it around our lifestyles. And if we're able to take control over how it is that we conduct business with the right people, our business never stops. On top of it, a lot of us can't afford, VAs when it comes down to sending out text messages or cold calls. Well, that's one thing that we want to answer here when it comes down to it is the flow is we teach you guys how to be able to bring leads in, right? And let me go ahead and start getting into that in just a quick second. Share number 1. Could you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Let me find my mouse. There it is. All right. So we updated the page because, we were getting some feedback, and I love this because that's how we change it. But you can see the page stops shortly after you have all of the Zoom links on the bottom, right? And on the top, you have the Video Vault, action materials, Zoom links. When you hit Zoom links, it just takes you to the bottom here. But the idea here is I wanted it to be a little more simple, but pretty much share the story of what it is that we're doing and how it is that we're doing it, right? So I'll go through the participation form, and if you're going to participate, make sure you fill that out, but we'll cover that in a second. Lead generation. That's step one, is that you need to be able to know where, how, why, and to generate leads, right? So we want to focus on foreclosures. D for D is driving for dollars. MLS, agent outreach, because things are sitting on the market for a long time right now, right? There's creative opportunities that are available on the market. Not saying that all your leads are going to come from this. And that was one thing, when I was talking this over with Scott and Kevin, that I was scared of, is that, people are going to try to look for the easy way out when it comes down to how we're going to be running this. And the idea here is not for you to look for the easy way out, but for you to structure something around what is going to make sense for you to participate day after day. Not only that, but to have different lead flow opportunities that you could build up where somebody else is weak. You may be strong, right? You may love to talk on the phone. You may love to talk at the door. You may love to just be out and about driving for dollars, right? So we want to be able to cover all those things when it comes down to it. So we actually, instead of a 3-day kickoff, we open this up to a 4-day kickoff. It's actually 5 days, because day 5, which is Friday, okay, that day is going to just be deal review, our typical Friday. So all the action that we're taking, it's not a challenge just to educate you guys. It's a challenge to take action. You guys letting these people in? Yes. Okay, just making sure. So, what I mean by that is we learn something and then we apply it. And then we learn a little bit more and then we apply it. And then we all come back onto this call and we ask questions. We participate. We bring deals to the table. We do the deal, no deal aspect of it. We say why it's not a deal, right? So like on Friday, when Leo brought that up, there was a lot of things that were learned through something that wasn't a deal. Because it's great to always see what's a deal, and then you don't know what you're wasting time on or whatever the case may be, right? But, when we could break something down that looks like a deal, and then it's like, wow, this doesn't make sense. A lot of times, we have our mentors or our coaches or a buddy or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, it's not a deal. And it's like, why? Why is it not a deal, right? So guys, don't be scared to bring those to the table, because we want to be able to learn from that, right? So going back to this lead gen, I want you guys to participate and understand the fact that, yes, there's going to be some door knocking, right? There's going to be driving for dollars, and there is going to be reaching out on the phone to sellers and agents for MLS. And we're going to cover that with Privy. Organize, right? Set up a weekly process to help your business flow. That's the biggest thing when it comes down to it, is that we all get stuck. And I remember when we first got started, it was like, how do I find a lead? Oh shit, I found a lead. How do I get a hold of them, right? Then you get a hold of them and it's like, what the heck do I say on the phone? After you get on the phone and you get that going, then it's, okay, do I do a walkthrough? Do I waste my time going over there? Do I not? Right? Like that's very critical, because sometimes we feel just because we're doing a walkthrough, even though we shouldn't be there, we shouldn't show up, then we start wasting our time away from what is called needle moving activity, right? The stuff that actually produces results in your business. That's what we want to be able to focus on. Okay. So setting up the process so that your business could flow. When you guys are working, we want to be able to help you guys out. That's what our VAs are for. That's what our drips are for when it comes to text message drips, right? We want to be able to filter all these down so that these are constantly being worked. I don't know if you guys have all heard me say this before, but the idea behind, follow-up, 85%, okay? Some of you guys may have heard this, but 85% of your success is going to come between follow-up 5 to 12, okay? So I'm not saying follow-up 5, you're going to get 85%. I'm not saying follow-up 12. Sometimes it might be 18, but on average between 5 to 12, that's where your deals come from. So if you ask yourself, like, man, how often am I following up with these deals? How often am I, actually showing up at the door, sending a text message or an email or a phone call, right? And if it's only 1, 2, 3 times, that's why you're not closing as much. You're not taking enough to the negotiation table, simply because you're not following up with it. You guys got where I'm going with this, right? So we want to be able to help with that, so your business is constantly flowing. Now, if Johnny brought a lead to the table, we're going to help him go through the whole entire process. A lot of us on here are newer to the real estate business and what we do and how we do it, right? Some of us on here are a little more experienced as far as that mid-level. And there's quite a bit on here actually that are high level, where they close deals. They understand how to structure the deal. They understand what it looks like to structure their business and the flow of their business, right? But the idea is, in duplication, the only way we get that done is by all of us doing it together, collaborating, going back to that aspect of it, right? But at the same time, I want you guys to understand it all goes back to the follow-up. It doesn't matter my success level and where I'm at. I don't get to just close a deal just because I got on the phone with them once. I'm still subject to those numbers, simply because that's the name of the game. That's the rule, right? If you guys knew that you were going into business and 50%, it was either going to fail, or 50% the business was going to succeed, but you knew just a little bit more that was going to help you take your business to the next level, and now you have an 85% success rate simply because of follow-up. That's how you win at this game, right? That's how you win at business, is understanding the rules. And that's what we want to teach through this whole 21-day business challenge. Okay. Leverage, keep your business running while you're at work. Again, some of us are full-time here. Most of us are not, you know what I mean? So when you're thinking about that, it's like, how do I get my business to the next level if I don't have the time? Well, you work with like-minded people that want to help you succeed, that want to see you succeed, that want to leverage each other so that we have more time. Because if I can't go door knocking every day, if I can't make phone calls every day, but I have a team around me and everyone selects a day, a time, a commitment to each other, guess what ends up happening? The business never stops running. Okay. But you got to understand, that's the concept of, leverage, team up, squatting up, so that you can make the best of that. All right. So lead generation, it's going to be a 4-day kickoff with live calls. Day 1. So I was talking to actually Johnny yesterday about this. This is the schedule. I want to cover this. And I know this does not jive with it. So based off my conversation yesterday with Johnny, I'm going to put dates right here and links, so that you guys could just know exactly what it is. And it tells that story. We'll update this every 6 weeks when we run this challenge, right? So the idea is, day 1, we're covering the challenge details. That's what I'm doing right now. Then we're going to go into lead generation, pulling foreclosure lists. Some of you guys have Waymaker. Some of you guys have PropStream. Some of you guys have other means of pulling your list. I'm going to go over PropStream today. Okay. I'm going to cover what that looks like. I'm going to cover exactly how it is that I pull, why it is that I pull it. I want you guys to ask questions and interact with us, because again, that's how we get everybody on the same page. Somebody's going to be scared to ask a question. Somebody's going to ask the question that's going to serve a lot of people here. So please be that person by just participating. Okay. Organize. We want to show you guys how you organize your data. Routes. We're going to do the whole idea as far as walking through the routes. And then we're going to create areas for the team. Okay. So Kevin and I were talking about this. This is something I wanted to do from the very beginning, where we gave everyone the opportunity to team up and work certain regions, certain areas. Okay. This is not going to be open to everyone. It's only going to be open to those that are consistent. I do not mind pulling the list and routing it, and then sharing with you guys what it is, what do you call it? Route Me, but I'll cover that in a second, the app, so that you guys have your routes right then and there. Okay. So today I'm going to spend time outside of this call as well, just putting routes together in about 6 key areas. And that's pretty much from like the 57 area going all the way over to the 15 and then all the way down. We have such a big area down here in Southern California, and a lot of us are already door knocking that area, right? But the thing is, we're not staying consistent with it. And as we go through these foreclosures, it's crazy how many of them hit hit the list, right? Hit the updated list every single week. I mean, if you guys have Waymaker, that's awesome, because then you guys get those drips every single day when it comes down to it. I mean, you know, Joel has done a great job of putting that whole thing together. And it gives you, you know, your leads right there when it comes down to it. But again, we're going to cover it on PropStream so you guys could see it. We're going to cover exactly how I pull a list and why I pull that. There's going to be a lot of questions around that as far as me organizing that data. And again, I'm here to service you guys. So if there's any questions, please bring it up. Okay. Day 2 is tomorrow, Tuesday. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to bring Scott in to understand the foreclosure process, covering what it's like at the door. You know what I mean? The best time for us to hit that particular house and why. It's going to kind of get covered today. And the approach with the homeowner, right? We want to be able to add value when it comes down to that. Provide value, overcoming objections, and then live role play. Okay. We want to knock, knock, Angel answers the door. And then we just go through the whole process right here. Okay. Before, we were doing a foreclosure door knocking challenge. That's what it was around. And, you know, my mind was like, man, I really want to kind of put this thing on steroids so that we have a lot of lead flow. And the idea is I want to be able to help somebody submit an offer every single day, because you think about it, if we submit an offer every single day on this challenge, 15, 30, 60 days down the line from here, as far as us submitting an offer a day, right, is going to come back as a deal a day. And a lot of you guys understand that that's my ultimate goal here, is to get to the point where we're literally doing a deal a day. Not Brandon by himself, not me cashing out on it. But if I have Q that brings a property to the table and he needs help taking it to the finish line, if that's raising private capital, if that's constructing the deal when it comes down to it, if that's just getting on the phone and negotiating it, that's how we get to the point of a deal a day, right? So the idea here is, when I say live role play, we do want to have that conversation as far as what it looks like at the door, but I don't want you guys not to participate simply because you don't want a door knock, right? That's what we're going to cover, driving for dollars. That's why we're going to cover, you know, MLS agent outreach. That's why we're going to cover what the cold call looks like and how we go about that, right? Because that's the only way we're going to get to the point of a deal a day, is understanding and working on it day after day, putting those offers in day after day, right? So the role play section, what I don't want to get too far off with that. And the reason why I wanted to highlight that specific point is because a lot of people start to fall off because they feel that they're too nervous to go door knocking, right? Or they don't have somebody in the area to go door knocking with. But the idea here is, again, we want to come up with the strategy. We want to put the player where they best fit, right? If you're really good at, I was explaining this to, I think it was Steven the other day. And, you know, we just want to play coach, right? What does a great coach do? A great coach brings a bunch of players onto the team and he's like, hey, you know what? You're going to be really good at receiver. You're going to be a great punter or a kicker, right? You're going to be a great special teams person. You're going to be great at the quarterback position, but you never want to put the quarterback in the running back position, right? Or the kicker in the position of a receiver. I mean, it just doesn't work, right? But if we all understand our place, we add value to that. And so again, when I'm going through the role play section, I don't want all you guys to get so nervous or whatever the case may be that you're going to be perfect with it. But we want to be able to hear from people. Like if you want to step up and say, hey, I want to practice, you know what I mean? Let's do that. Let's take that time on the call for you to be nervous in front of everyone here, because this is a safe place to be nervous, right? It's a safe place to master your craft. So then when you get to the door, you master that, right? But the idea here is we don't know what player is going to be in what position until everyone puts some effort forward with it. Okay. So we really want you guys to focus on why it's important to participate when it comes down to it. All right. So that's day 2. Let me see where I'm at. Understand the foreclosure process, covering this time to approach the homeowner. Day 3. So here I'm at. This is Wednesday. Okay. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to do lead gen. What is driving for dollars? Some people may not know what that is, right? So we're going to cover that. Organize your leads with Deal Machine. So I pay, it's about $250 a month. I mean, it's like a year subscription though. Like, so pretty much like $3,000 a year, for, the Deal Machine, CRM. Okay. I'm going to cover that on this call on Wednesday. So some of you guys that may not have something to organize your driving for dollars or organize your leads just in general when it comes to your CRM, we're going to take care of that for you, right? So we're going to put all of you guys based off of whoever's participating. If you're not already part of Deal Machine, we're going to add you to my account that does not charge you anything. It's free to you guys, okay? But when you're out and about, the goal here is, look, we have 36 people here right now, okay? And I know more people are going to start, falling in as the hour goes on. People are still waking out, getting that sleep out of their eyes, putting their clothes on, waking up, brushing that teeth, right? But the idea here is right now we have 36 people on here. If every single one of us put in 10 leads a day, okay, think about this. The other day, Kevin and I shot a video. You guys are going to see that video. We explained what was door knock or driving for dollars. We explained how to use the app. We did take after take. We had conversation in between. It took us 14 minutes, guys, and we went down 3 streets. So 14 total minutes, not just specifically driving for dollars, okay, but covering all this and putting something together for you. And again, you'll see that video on Wednesday. But what I'm getting to is in 14 minutes, did we do all of that? We got what, 6, 7 leads, Kevin, right? So the idea
8,
there,
actually.
8. Okay,
8
there you
total.
go. Yeah. And we literally from the club went across the street and then just started like immediate. You're going to see the whole thing when we cover it. But we got 8 leads in a matter of 14 fucking minutes, guys. Like, I don't want to tell you guys that this business is difficult, but what's difficult is us staying consistent, us going at it, us showing up for ourselves and for our family every single day, right? So, if we could be able to conquer that in a matter of 14 minutes, imagine all of us on here, right? Now there's 37. And if we put 10 leads in there a day, if it's on our way to work, on our way to dropping off the kids at school, you're going for a jog and then, you walk a couple of streets different than what you go to usually or whatever the case may be, right? It makes it so easy, right? I'm not going to go into detail, but you literally, I'm here. You turn on the app and it's like, okay, 123 Main Street, 123 Main Street, click it, add lead, take a picture, right? Like, that's how simple it is from here. Now, why is that important? Because again, you guys all do not have time to constantly be able to follow up on these people. Those leads are just going to fall right into the drip for us, right? We're going to get the text messages going. We're going to get the phone calls going. We're going to get all of that taken care of. Imagine that 370 leads when it comes down to it every single day if all of us just participated, right? 370 opportunities when it comes down to a potential seller, get that motivation, and then we take it across the finish line, right? So at the end of the day, all of your guys' information is going to be there. So it's going to say, hey, Brandon added this, Leo added this, because I know that's probably something in your head when it comes down to it, right? But I want you guys to understand something. Just focus on the leverage component here, right? We have coaches, we have success partners, we have mentors that are all part of this call that are going to help all of us succeed when it comes down to it, that are going to help us run our business when we don't have the time to be able to run it, right? You're at work 9 to 5. You can't focus on it. You can't make those phone calls. You can't reach out to them. The system's going to take care of that by itself, right? So you could see what I mean when I say that we literally put this whole thing on steroids, when it's like, wow, like I literally have a business in a box here, right? So, and I'm barely on day 3 right here, and we'll get more going on in just a second. Where am I at? Organized leads on Deal Machine, how to use it. We're going to cover the skip tracing process, okay? The one thing is I'm not going to pay for everyone's leads to get skip traced, all right? There's a free service. We go through True People Search, or what was the other one?
Fast People Search.
Fast People Search. Some of you guys may have been verified that you guys could do it. I mean, if you're paying for it, that's great, but the idea here is we want to be able to reach out to these people. So we're going to show you how to get that information totally for free. Now, If we run it and we don't get any data back, then yes, then I'm going to put that into our skip tracing system. We're going to try to grab something back as far as a phone number. And that's going to be, really my dollars being spent to make sure that we get good quality data back on that in the case that, we can't find something on True People Search or whatever, right? But think about that. You take time for 10, houses, 10 opportunities, 10 new leads that you're adding to the bucket. Some of you guys may do 15, some of you guys may do 20, right? But the idea is I just want to make sure that you guys understand that it's super important to skip trace these on the back end as well. Okay, so we're going to cover that. What is skip tracing? How to be able to cover it? The cold call script. So this is something I'm opening that's new to everybody. We do have VAs that are calling, but some of you guys have expressed interest in the cold calling that we do with REI Reply. Okay, let me just cover REI Reply, and it has a dialer that's attached to our CRM with that. And some people were asking about it. So I pay a little over 150, I think it's like $149.99 or whatever, $150 a month for REI Reply. REI Reply is, a system that both Scott and I use for our acquisitions company. And then we have a VA that runs through the calls, and then that system sends out those drips, right? But going back, there's been people asking me, hey, can we jump on the dialer? Okay. Every additional account cost me $30. All right. The reason I bring that up is I don't mind showing it to you. I'm not making any money off of the dialer. But if you need a dialer, yes, you could use our system, our platform, right? The thing that I pay $150 for. You guys could go ahead and utilize the platform, but you do have to pay for your own dialer, your own number that's attached to it, and that's $30. Okay, I can't go bankrupt over here paying for everybody's a dialer. But if you're looking for a dialer, you're looking for a system, we will set you up with that. There's been a couple of people that have came to me and asked me about that, so we'll definitely provide that value for you guys if it's something that you're going to be consistent with. Okay. There's a lot of you guys that show up on here every single day. And I see your consistency. I see your commitment to yourself and to your family by showing up here. What was that?
We see your presence.
Yes. Yeah. We see your presence, he said, and we appreciate that, right? Those are the individuals that I want on the dialer. I'm just being 120% transparent with you guys. Okay. I don't want somebody that's going to be, all hot and warm today, and then their feelings got hurt by making a phone call and they don't want to do it again or whatever, right?
It happens, guys, it really does.
It does. You know what I mean? It's happened to me. I'm just being honest, right? Like oh my gosh, what am I doing wrong? Nobody wants to talk to me today, right? And then we start having that victim mentality. But where I'm getting to is I just want to be able to make sure the people that are going to be consistent are the people that we add to the system. I don't want to oversaturate it with just a bunch of dialers, even if you're paying for it. I don't want you to have to waste your money if you're not going to be consistent, right? But we'll cover the cold calling script, what that looks like, and then we'll run through some role plays here, right? I'll call Kevin, and Kevin will give me a hard time so you guys can see what that looks like and what it sounds like, and fill it out from there. Leverage, like I shared with you guys, Deal Machine CRM by setting it up. So we'll set you guys up with an account on day 3, which is Wednesday. Day 4. Okay. Day 4, we're going to be using Privy for MLS opportunities and PropStream for expired listings. All right. So this right here is going to be a little different of a game. A lot of people believe that you cannot get a deal off of the MLS. You can. Doesn't mean everything's a deal. Some people try to go towards the MLS first and just focus on, hey, I'm going to go through Zillow and see what's for sale. Yes, I understand that the motivation is there. That's why it's for sale, right? But at the same time, where we get our deep discount is in 2 areas. We either get the terms that we want that make sense, or we get it at the price that makes sense, right? So we want to be able to cover that and what that looks like. A lot of you guys have seen us do that, right? Vittorio does this all the time. Ed does it all the time with Leo. So we have an actual a segment that covers that at 5 o'clock in the morning for about 3 days out of the week. We're not going to really be running it this week because we're going to be doing this call. But after we're covering that after day 4, we're going to open that up for next week. So if you're serious about that and you want to see what that looks like, okay, we're going to use Privy. So if you're an agent, you could use your MLS access to be able to do this, but we're using Privy. I cannot give access to Privy for everybody because then it doesn't allow me to share it, and I can't get in there when I need it, right? So that's the one thing that I'm not going to share. I don't have affiliate links for that or whatever. I should, as much as I use it, and people ask me. I think I'd be $1 million earner just in Privy users, right? But anyways, but I don't have that. So you guys could just go to Privy and sign up on it. We'll sign up with that.
$97 a month, guys.
There it is, 97 a month, right? So think about that for a second. Talking about leverage, I want to go back, and he brought up 97. Deal Machine cost me 250. What is REI Reply? 150. Waymaker 150. Privy $97. Just in systems, guys, like, the resources that you guys have available to you are things that I'm already paying for that you guys could leverage when it comes to this Zoom call. So it's like everyone's trying to figure out how to do this thing, but they're not partnering up with people. And I'm not the only one that has those systems. Other people have those systems here and are willing to share them with you guys as long as you partner up and everyone holds their weight, right? Everyone works together with that. So don't want to go too far off. I know I talk a lot, but going back to day 4. So day 1, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is day 4. So you could see 4 days in a row of just giving you guys knowledge on lead gen, right? So we're talking day 4, Thursday. In this particular case, it's going to be talking with agents to build solid relationships, right? And leverage them for deal flow. Because I don't know if you guys catch that, but every agent that I talk to, I always bring it up and saying, hey, this may not be a deal for you and I right now. This may not be something that's going to work out for both of us to knock this out, but I want to be able to build that relationship with you because you're going to see how I do things. And I just want to be another tool in your toolbox, right? If you have a listing that doesn't close after so many days, right, bring it to the table with me. If you have something that is going to be difficult to close it on the market, bring that to me. If you have something where you're going to be short selling it, or, that the seller's not going to get something, or you're going to have to compromise your commission, bring that deal to me, right? So when you share that with an agent and you're letting them know that I'm someone that I could perform, I could come up with a creative way of doing something, as long as everyone in the whole, a transaction is okay and want to move forward with it. Those are going to be things that you're going to build a relationship with these agents, and you're constantly going to get lead flow from them, right? So I'll give you a great example. I don't want to bring up my phone right now because I'm pretty sure my phone's going crazy and I don't want to read something I'm not supposed to in regards to get stuck with it. But anyways, I wanted to read a text message from Lisa. Lisa's an agent. Lisa was the agent that I was going into escrow with for the San Dimas duplex. That deal fell apart. We didn't end up going through with it, but she reaches out. She's like, Brandon, I really want to do business with you. I really like the way that you structure things. I want to be able to do more business with you, right? So that is exactly what I'm talking about. We all wonder where are we getting these opportunities from? How does it work? And it's simply by building solid relationships. And agents get deals all day long. Sometimes they don't realize they have a deal when it comes down to it, right? You know what I mean? As far as something that would work with you. So I tell them, bring me everything, and I'll tell you no if it doesn't make sense for me. And I'll tell you yes if it does. And I'll put an offer together and we can see where it goes from there. So anyhow, talking with agents to build solid relationships and leverage the deal flow. And then how to organize your data and follow up, covering different CRMs, right? So I just listed a couple of them. I want to go through this because a lot of people are like, hey, I don't know what to use, how to use it, why I want to go with what, so it's just going to be like a nitpick thing where you guys could ask me, why do you use this? Why do you use that? I'm going to bring Scotty on here. Hopefully Jess could jump on as well. I know Kevin will be able to answer some questions. Some of you guys have CRMs in here. So if you guys have something that you want to be able to share, obviously bring it to the table and let us know where it goes from there. Because there's so many CRMs that are out there. And it's like, well, where do we get the bang for our buck, right? I think I don't know if Jimmy's on here. I forgot what he showed me, but it's almost like REI Reply, and it's a free service. It was pretty badass, and I love the fact that the it puts the image on there so you could see it. I forgot, but I'll have him cover that. I'll make sure that he's on here that Thursday, so he could cover that system. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're just going to be pouring into you guys in regards to lead gen, the data, the organization of it, right? You could see that I highlighted these. And again, all of you guys have the link for this. If not, Leo's going to drop it in the chat if you haven't already, dude. And that's the focus, right? Lead gen, organize, leverage. All right. Day 5, which is Friday, I know it's not listed on here, is our normal scheduled call where we're going to get back to deal review. So if out of these 4 days and you guys taking action, bring deals to the table on Friday, right? Let's go through them. Let's see what it looks like. Let's put offers in, right? Let's try to like do a rapid fire on Friday where it's just like everyone is participating. There's so much addresses inside of the fucking a chat that we just have to hurry up and get through it, right? And put the deal together, send it off. Okay. So that's the idea, is how many deals can we, or how many offers can we send out for potential deals come, Friday. So I want all of you guys to have that intention when it comes down to going through this process, is learn something, apply something, learn something, apply something, right? And then we could, tweak it when it comes down to it. I say my superpower as well as my kryptonite is I don't think too much before I act. I'm a quick decision maker, and a lot of my decisions are simply based off of pros and cons. And I don't care if I have one more pro over cons. If it makes sense because there's one more up on it, I'm going to go that way, and I'm going to figure that shit out as I go. You know what I mean? Like that's how this whole thing started. This whole conversation, this whole challenge literally started with 5 or 6 of us. And I was really trying to like find people that I wanted to work with, that I wanted to be held accountable, and they wanted to be held accountable. A lot of people came, a lot of people went, and then some people are still here. Some people have came back to the call, right? And it's crazy to think that it was like 4 to 6 people. 4 to 6 people. And now we have 40 people on here. And I promise you, as we continue on, not everyone could jump on, but there's going to be a lot more participants this go around, right? And then the whole idea here is, if you get a benefit from this, tell somebody. If you're a success partner, if you're a coach, right? Tell your students, tell your newbie investors, what are you doing? Jump on this challenge, because you guys are leveraging my time. You guys are leveraging the ability to be able to, grow your team and produce, right? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it all goes back to all of you guys. So, the biggest thing that you could do for, go out there and bring one more person. Okay. That's the fee. Yeah. I like it. Andy Frisella says that's the fee, right? Is that referral?
No matter who it is, could be a homeowner, could be a lead too, let them know what we do. You know what I mean? It could be anybody, family member, friend, acquaintances, whoever, that's just the fee.
So let's cover this really quick. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Today's the only day. Monday's the only day that we do 7 a.m. Every other day out there is going to be 9 a.m. kickoff. Okay, guys, Pacific time. So if you're on the East Coast or Hawaii time or whatever, it's Pacific Standard Time. If you're
on GroupMe, I'll drop the schedule in there as well.
Yeah. So again, thank you, Johnny, for bringing that up yesterday when we were talking about this. I will also include on the bottom of each day the time and the link, so it's a lot easier. I'm trying to make this as simple as possible, guys. Like, I don't know what else is fucking out there that's helping you guys take your business to the next level like this. I don't. You know what I mean? Like, it's mind-boggling to me where people don't participate and then they're still complaining about, man, this is not for me, and then they quit because nothing's happening for them and they're not in the game long enough, right? Like, again, I'm trying to make this so that you guys come and plug in and produce, right? And then it gets to the point, since we're doing this, right? How I got good at what I do is repetition. Just keep on going. Reps, right? The more that you execute, the more that you understand it, the more that you see it, the more that you understand it, right? And use each other as far as all of our time in service, right? So that you could be able to gain that that experience. They say it takes 10,000 hours to master something, right? It could take you exactly from now to 10,000 hours, or it could take you, I don't know, 60 years spread across all that time as far as what it learns. But if you're showing up every single day, and I'm making a phone call, Leo's making a phone call, we're executing, breaking down a deal, like just you guys seeing it and asking questions or participating or hearing the other questions that people are asking, that's going to go towards that bank of the 10,000 hours, right, guys? So like, let's all just focus on mastering our craft and getting great at what we do here. And our lives will be completely different at the end of this year, right? Like, we have a very small window. I love what a lot of, influencers are saying out there. Like, we're in a time right now that may never ever exist ever again, guys. Like, it's crazy with the whole crypto banking, the economy, the housing. Like, I'm not going to go all into the politics and crap, but like, you guys got where I'm going, is like, opportunity is literally here. And, a lot of us that take the next step, that just grab it and run with it, right? You know what I mean? Our lives will be significantly different come 6 months, 9 months, a year from now, right? We're going to have this same conversation, and some of us are going to be left behind. That's the truth. Some of us are going to be like, damn, like, I got to go back and I got to find a job, or I got to find 2 jobs, or my whole family got to work to pay the bills. I'm not, bashing on that. Like, it's not for everybody, but it is for everybody that wants to take this serious. You know what I mean? So we want to be able to take it serious with you guys. We want to be able to help you. So far, is there any questions about the days, right? So I hope I was clear on the schedule. I hope I was clear on the time, but anything at all, please let me know. Leo, you want to read the chat? Can't find my mouse. There it is.
No questions so far.
Where did the chat go? What's in the chat? Oh, okay. You're dropping stuff in there. Sorry, guys, just moving things around here so I could catch up where we're at. Okay. So yes, I'm gonna walk through the form right now. Thank you. So the link is in there. Kevin dropped it. Leo dropped it. Barlow, if someone needs more help to get that in. Okay, skip trade. So look at Anne's already showing up. She's already showing up for you guys there. You know what I mean? So make sure that you guys hit her up as far as partnering with her. She's down in SD, San Diego area. And yes, if you're interested in the dialer, thank you. Could you put my information in there as well, on my cell phone number and email, in case people don't have it, and yours as well? Got it. Thank you. Okay. All right. So no questions on the schedule. So I guess I did a great job of explaining it. I just want to make sure, because I know somebody's going to text me about a day or something. Okay, we're good. Back to this screen. Okay. So lead gen, right? 4 days, kicking that off. And then leverage, right? Working your leads while you work, right? While you're at work, you're 9 to 5. What does that look like? Okay. So I kind of already gave you a sneak peek of that by covering the leverage component here. But when you guys are generating leads, okay, we're going to help you guys with that focus on following up with these, right? We're going to help it. So then let's say Kevin drops a lead into the Driving for Dollars, and the drip campaign and the phone calls go out, and we're able to get a hold of somebody, and then it goes from a prospect to a lead. Okay, you guys understand that, right? Everything is just a prospect until the person is motivated and you've confirmed some type of motivation. That's when it becomes a lead. Okay, just because you find a distressed property on the corner does not mean that you're running your business. It's when you get in contact with them, you follow up with them, and you start building that rapport and understand the motivation, right? The pain points. That's when it becomes a lead. That's what the drip system's for. That's when I'm talking about leveraging what we're already paying for. That's what makes a big difference for you guys in your business, because now Kevin dropped the house 5 days, 10 days down the line. Oh, it came back and we got a hit on it. I'm going to call Kevin. I'm going to say, hey, bro, just so you know, the house that you dropped in on this day, they're motivated, and then I'm going to engage with him, right? your coach is going to engage with you. Your success partner is going to engage with you. And I say that if you're part of the club, this is the last one, just so you guys know, this is the last challenge that's opened up to everyone that's outside of the club. If you're here, you're grandfathered in. We love you guys. So you make sure that you continue to stay in on it. But outside of this, there's going to be passwords to this. There's going to be, logins and certain things that we want to make sure we are, we're adding value to the people that are, again, part of the club. Like that's the whole point of this, right? Is, when you come in here, it's like, man, I don't want to do this by myself, right? I mean, I paid for so many different mentorships and classes before I came to this club. And I came here, and what was the game changer was the physical relationship that we have with each other, the physical relationship with my mentors, where I'm physically with them, talking with them, running deal reviews, right? This physical conversation on this call right now, like, again, how many people are out there doing this kind of stuff, right? Everyone's running, different challenges and, trying to upsell you here and there on different things. And then you pay for the newest, biggest thing. And then it's like, you don't even get their phone number. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even get access to them. You get access to, Sam, that's on the other side of, the country. And, that person, I just threw Sam out there, not Sam in here. I don't know if I've seen her come in and out, but anyways, the idea is like, you don't get that connection with the actual mentor, with the actual guru, or whatever the case may be, right? That's what we want to change with this whole thing. We want to make sure that it's you connecting with the right people, you engaging and physically being able to show up, and they're there for you as well, right? So the idea of the whole club, when I say success partner or coaches, they're here, they're on this call as well, and they are here to pour into you guys, right? So again, going back to Kevin, and that's why I want to make that very clear, because a lot of people are probably like, what is a success partner? What is coach, right? So I want to make that very clear, but Kevin brings a lead 5-10 days down the line, we get a hit. What's going to happen is I'm going to engage Kevin and say, hey, bro, so we talked to Sam down the street. She's super excited about selling, and moving on. I need you to do XYZ, right? So what does that XYZ fill in? Whatever the need is, a walkthrough, a follow-up, getting more information. So now you're engaging with your lead, right? Hey, bro, we're going to sit down, we're going to type up this offer, and then we're going to give a phone call. So just this weekend, I was on the phone with Drew and I think it was Jimmy. We were going through a couple of deals, and we got on the phone with an agent, right? And the agent right away had shared, hey, they're not interested in a creative deal. They're not looking for that. You know what I mean? And I was like, well, what is it that they're not like? What don't they like about it? And he really couldn't answer that. So I broke it completely down for him. He's like, oh, wow. Okay. So, this is what they're going to get. This is the benefit. Like, he understood it, right? So you could see the difference when we're getting on the phone with you guys, and you're going to hear us how we pitch it. You're going to hear how we break it down. You're going to hear the negotiations, right? You're going to be part of the offer. Aaron brought that deal to the table, was it last week or the week before? And what did I do? I typed up the damn offer and I sent it to him. Like, he has the template. He understands it. He was part of the conversation. I was going back and forth with the agent. I sent him screenshots of what that looks like. So he's engaged the whole entire process. Why? Because my goal is to get Aaron to the point where he doesn't need me anymore, right? He's someone else that's plugging in here, helping the team continue to grow, right? Because when you learn, you're a go-giver and you give it back to the community. And that's how this cycle just continues to build and more people become successful, right? One of my biggest goals this year is create more millionaires. Why does that matter? Because it's better for their family. It's better for their health. It's better for their community, right? It's better think about that for a second. I can't get to where I want to be without creating more millionaires. Now, I will, that's my ultimate goal here is to get a deal a day, creating new millionaires. And this is how we do it. This is how we duplicate ourselves, right? A lot of people, I like the construction world because you see this a lot in construction, where you get a guy that's been in the industry for years, right? And when he's running through the whole process of, making it easy for him, he knows the tricks of the trade, but he doesn't want to share it with anybody. but then he's also pissed off because, man, I'm the one that always has to do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's because he doesn't want to give his secrets away. And then he's at the same time complaining because of the fact that he has to be the one to do everything. But that's the thing, is we get stuck with this thing where it's like, hey, I want to be the one that adds value to everything. And I don't want to share my secret sauce or whatever you want to call it, or my techniques or whatever. No, guys, like, this is all about duplication. And this is all about getting everybody to the same level and above, right? You know what I mean? Because with that, like, there's an army out there helping families save their homes. There's an army out there helping build other investors to have a better life in this crazy ass world and economy that we're in now, right? So when you do that, so much greatness comes out of that, right? And that's why I'm a firm believer is that I can't always do this by myself. But if I push out, I don't know everything. You know, I'm probably the dumbest person on here, but I'm the most action taker. You know what I mean? I share that all the time, is that's the difference between me and a lot of people, is I just take action. You know what I mean? I don't want to overthink it. And I want to be able to pass that on to other people as well. Okay. So before I get too far, we're going back to the leverage component. You guys all understand what we're looking to do here, right? As far as lead gen, organization, leverage, right? And then we circle back because, again, not all of us are able to do this, but if we do it as a team, it's going to make it a lot easier. Sam, I'm still here. She's funny. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. Any questions so far before we get started? Nope. Okay.
Yes, Brandon.
Yeah, go ahead.
The dialer information at the end of Zoom, I'd be happy to have that opportunity and pay that $30 subscription. And thank you for offering that.
You're very welcome. Yes, I did see that in there. So if you guys can, Leo dropped my information inside of there. If that's something that you guys want to participate, again, just because you reach out to me does not mean that I'm going to say yes to it. We're going to have a serious conversation. And we want to make sure that everyone is good to go from there. But yes, you know what I mean? And I'm not just talking to you, Ann, I'm telling everybody this, you know? So again, I don't want you guys paying $30 if you're not going to be consistent with it, like I shared with you guys earlier. Okay. So let's get started with day one. I hope I was very clear with everything. Oh, no, I wasn't. Participant form. Okay. So when you guys click on this form is going to pop up. Okay. I want you guys to fill this out. This does need to be updated. That's the one thing, is the gentleman that did these sheets for me. This is not, it's not updated. So don't worry about the date on here. We'll get that part, but all of this falls into the right form. Okay. So what does this look like? Your full name, your phone number, email, what city you live in, not what city you work out of or whatever the case may be. What city do you live in, right? And then 2 cities that you want to work in. This is more so for the door knocking section of it. Okay, guys, outside of everything else that we do, but we want to make sure you list that right here. What cities, 2 cities you want to work in or partner with people. Days that you can door knock. Okay. So if you're looking for a door knocking partner, you want to see what that looks like, click on these. If you're not going to go door knocking, don't click on any of these. That simple. Okay. And you could add that right here as far as your comments in the bottom, that you're not going to be able to do that. And then time windows that you can door knock. Okay. So if you are door knocking, plug that in here as well. Okay. I like to add on here, when you guys are putting your comments, if you guys are not door knocking, go ahead and place that here, that you're not door knocking. But if you have a time window that you're going to be working your business, go ahead and mark that on here. Okay. Because if you're going to be making phone calls or whatever, we want to know what section that we're going to be plugging you in on this. All of this stuff falls into a form. Look at that. Patty already did it. Leo already did it. Michael already did it, right? This is what it does. Why is this important, right? Because when Aaron wants somebody in San Diego, he sees, oh, well, Ann's down here. I want to hook up with her and go door knocking, or, you know, have a cold calling session or whatever, right? This is how the community gets started, is knowing where everybody's at. If you went out there and you're like, hey, I'm here, and then you put it in the chat, whatever the case may be, you're not going to always catch it. This list is going to be live. So as you guys start to plug in here, you guys will see, and you will see who's doing what on what days, and who's going to be part of that. Next thing. These are the challenge forms. So report your daily activity. You click on this. Because we're adding the driving for dollars section, that's going to be something that we're going to add onto here, right? But your full name, if you worked with somebody for this particular day or whatever the case may be, go ahead and put that person's name. So another example, going back to Ann and Aaron, if they went out door knocking together, whoever is responsible for filling this form out is going to be adding their partner's name in here. The city or area that you went door knocking, how many doors did you schedule? I always put a minimum of 12 because 12 is 2 hours worth of work. So you guys get an idea here, right? So you guys go out there with purpose. That's the reason for 12. How many distressed properties did you add? So this is driving for dollars, right? So you put a minimum of 5 while you're out and about just doing random stuff. But if you guys could really stretch yourselves and put 10 in there, I'm telling you guys, the leverage factor is what's going to change the game for this challenge. Having the cold callers and having the drips reach out to these numbers, right? These properties that you guys are putting out there, okay? If you did follow-up calls, your cold calls that you made, like I told you guys earlier, we'll cover that section. How many connections with the owners, right? So this is you actually, if Leo owns the house, I connected with Leo. You got what I'm saying? I was able to have a conversation with the owner, not the renter, not the niece or whatever the case may be. How many appointments you made, offers sent, deals in escrow, deals closed, homes saved, and then any comments. Very straightforward. And again, this is going to fall into another sheet, which will be all this information right here. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. Any questions on the forms? Okay. So you guys when people start filling out this, the list will get updated, and you can see I just clicked on that, and you guys will have a view only page of everybody when it comes down to that. Okay. Daily activity results, you guys also have access to that. So you can see who's working and who's not working, right? So you could go ahead and see this and see who's doing what. We want to turn this into like a leaderboard as well. I'm not that savvy with Google Sheets, so I'll be working with Scotty and Kev on that part. So I think that's everything when it comes down to the challenge, how the challenge can be ran, what we're looking to accomplish here. Again, any questions at all? Kevin, did I leave anything out? Leo, anything out? No? All right. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and move forward with pulling our list as far as foreclosures. Extend session. Okay. So day one, walking through what it is to pull a list. So here, I just typed in Ontario, California, right? What I'm using here is PropStream. And then you can see that it already has a preset for foreclosures. I had already clicked on that. So that's why there's 84 right here. So I'll just click on it again, just so you guys can see. So then that sets up this list over here on the right-hand side. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is come over to filters. And there's a lot of different ways could look at this when it comes down to it. Owner occupied, I definitely want to make sure that, I do talk to the owners. Before I used to tell you guys owner occupied, yes, just go ahead and leave it as any, but just know when you're door knocking or you're calling on this, that you want to talk to the owner, not the renter or anybody like that, right? You want to talk to the owner. Occupancy status, you go leave that as any. Characteristics for the properties, right? You want to break this down to only residentials because that's what we're going after right now. And then you want to make sure that you're looking at single family. If you want to do condos and townhouses, you can. Sometimes just let you guys know they're gated, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to get inside of there, but just keep that in mind. Multifamilies, I like to click on those as well, so, I mean, why not? You know what I mean? If it's in foreclosure, gives me an opportunity for me to be able to build my portfolio with more doors. I totally would do that. So now you guys could see just based off of my search so far, I went from, what was it? 84 to 64. Okay.
Just with filters, guys.
Yeah. Close this. MLS status. When I'm looking at foreclosures and it's asking if it's on market, I want to put no. Okay. I do not want it on the market. I lost one house right now. I went from 64 to 63. Okay. So on market, no. That's what I'm looking at here. Okay. So the idea here is if they're already working with a realtor, yes, their idea is that they wanted to sell it, but you know, yes, you could look that up. That would be something where it's more, you already know their motivation. You're not there to help them save their house, modify, you know, or come up with some type of strategy to purchase it. But if you reach it before the agent gets there, you get a higher opportunity of working so many different angles with it. As soon as they list it and it's under contract, now you have to deal with that agent when it comes down to it, right? Okay. That's pretty much all that I change on this. If you guys want to take a picture of this, you guys can. I'm going to go in a little bit more detail in just a second once I download this list. Okay. So once that's there, I close it. Then I click here and I save it. Add to list. I'm just going to put right here, create new. And I'll put the date 2/6. Come here, my properties. That's my list. Okay. So on here, again, I'm not going to go into detail because not everybody's using PropStream, but you could set these column titles or headers to, you know, you can move them around. So if you want, you see, I don't know if you guys see that it's switching, right? You could put what you want, where you want it. You could go ahead and you could add more details to it. So right here, you could select what you want to see, what you don't want to see. You're going to see what mine looks like in just a second. So just make sure, my biggest thing that I always ask everyone to make sure that they do is the date that everything was recorded and the status. Okay. So you have trustee sale, default, right? So this is super important. A lot of people, when they go door knocking, they feel like they have to break down every single house and know everything about the house when it comes down to it. No, you just need to know and understand the process. Scotty's going to cover that in really good detail tomorrow. But you want to understand the process because there's days that go into play, right? So understanding the date, understanding when it was filed, and understanding the position that it's going to put that family in. And again, I'll get in that in just a little bit. But that's why you want to be able to know what the status is and the day that the filing had taken place. Okay. And of course, the homeowners' names, because you want to know who you're hitting up, right? So I'm going to click on that and I'm going to hit export. Any questions so far? Do you guys need me to go back to my filters? I hope you guys all took notes or took a picture of it or whatnot. It's downloading. Go ahead, Ed.
So I had a question. When you guys door knock, do you guys only door knock foreclosures or vacants lists, or that's what my question is. Do you guys only door knock foreclosure lists?
Yeah. So there's times where there's a distressed property and we can't get a hold of the owner. And like we're trying to get call them and stuff. We actually had this conversation over the weekend. And it's a good opportunity. It's like, hey, go find the owner's house, because a lot of times when it's absentee owner, you could go ahead and knock on their actual residence and say, hey, Ed, I came across your property. I was actually trying to give you a ring. I noticed that 123 Main Street is empty. Are you still the owner of that house? And that's when I would door knock something outside of foreclosures. But when it comes to door knocking, that's really the only thing that I've ever focused on when it comes to door knocking is a foreclosure list. Everything else has gone to my cold caller or to text message drips. So that's been the only play that I have here. Does that answer your question, Ed?
Yes. Thank you.
No worries, man. Thank you for asking that. Okay. So do you guys see my list now? Is that what everyone sees? Okay.
I see your list.
Thank you.
And I see a address that belongs to Aaron's first loan modification.
There you go. Nice. Look at her. She already knows these addresses like the back of her hand. So I start cleaning this up. Okay. So I delete this. You can leave the lien amount, you know, it always helps if it's there, you know, is it accurate? Is it not? I mean, remember, all this data is inputted by other humans, and then that data gets updated to PropStream, and now we're looking at it. So, you know, when you're looking at the trustee sale default, notice of default, these dates may not jive with what we know the process to be, just because they're a little bit behind on recording it and it being displayed on here. Okay. Owner occupied, I'll go ahead and delete that. And then the rest of it, I really don't need. I'll go back to all of that in just a second. Just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So look at, there are MLS on here. You could see these right here. I'm going to keep that really fast just so I go look at this. And then look at, you could also have the auction date as well, if you know that it's already in a trustee sale. Oh, look at, even have opening bids. Again, you could have all this here if that's what you guys need, but I'm going to show you guys something right now. I'm going to come back to that section in a second. So when you're looking at your list, right? So what was it? 64? There it is. Yeah. 64 total leads on here. Just because there's 64 does not mean I'm going to door knock all of these 64. Okay. Again, tomorrow we're going to go over the process. I'm just going to give a highlight of this right here, right now. All right. So when you're taking in consideration an NLD, that's usually 90 days before you see it start to go to a sale process. Okay. So why is that important? Is because if you door knock somebody's house today, if you hit up a house today that just got their NOD, they're going to be bombarded with phone calls, emails, door knocks. They're not going to want to talk to anybody because they just got that, right? The pressure, the pain point is not 100% real to them. Yes, you could help them with their house. You could help them with all of that. We're going to get to that. Okay. I don't want to ever put money in front of people, right? The people always come before money. But at the same time, I don't want to miss the point of you guys understanding that you're doing this for a business. You're doing this so that you could feed your family. You're doing this because you want to get out of your job. You're doing this because you need to make money, guys. Like, I want to make that very clear. Like, it's not you're going to go out there and take advantage of somebody. If you know that you could help them and save their house, you do that, right? But at the same time, understanding the motivation of in the process, the people, and how that, you know, the pain point goes along with it. What we really want to focus on right now is we're trying to turn these, right? And that's going to be trustee sales, and that's going to be at the end of the NOD time frame, which is, you know, close to like that 80, 85 days as far as their note. Okay. So how do you know that? And we were having that discussion. There's not really a filter for it, and that's why I pulled the list. So we could see the dates right here. That's why the recording date is super important. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I like shortcuts. So I hit Shift Control L, and that gives me these little filter things. You could also click on the whole sheet, and then you go to, where is it at? Okay. Here, sort and filter. You could click on that, and you could turn the filters on or off. What you want to do is then organize it by date. Okay. So you can see these ones are 21. Is it big right there that they could see it? Or
you got to zoom in. If you're on your phone, you got to zoom in. And if you're on your iPad as well, you got to zoom in a little bit as well. I got to zoom in too.
I made it a little bit bigger. You can see that there's 2021 in here, right? That may be not updated. They may be in a, like a, what do you call it? A bankruptcy that's kind of holding things back. I don't know the situation, guys, right? I wish I could share everything with you. Right now we are in what, February. So I'm going to go 3 months back, right? So when you're looking at this, hold on. I don't know why my mouse is stuck. November, December, January, right? That's 3 months. Okay. So what I'm looking at here, I'm going to delete all of these. So we're getting a little further here. is, you know, I mean, I don't want to delete them yet. I'm going to hide them. Trying to find the best way I could explain this to everybody. But when you're looking at knowing the date time frame, right? This was within the last 3 months, and you come over here and you're looking at, I don't want to do that. I'm going to take off a trustee sale. The NODs, I don't know why I brought those ones back. That's why I wanted to delete them. That's right. These ones are highlighted. So the NODs, right? Obviously the NODs on this end that just got these in last month in January, they're going to be less likely to start working with you right off the bat. Okay. Because they have a lot of options right now. They have time right now. They're not seeing this as something that they have to worry about. And then these ones right here, as far as December and November, these are the ones that are going to be moving over pretty soon to notice or trustee sale. Okay. So you've seen that I had hit that notice of trustee sale earlier. Now let's flip this one. Sorry, my phone's going off. Trustee sale, you have 21 days before it goes to auction. And you got to move quick on these, right? So the idea here is these are the ones where people are going to be more eager. The pain point, the motivation for somebody to show up and help them. The last 90 days, they've probably gone through so many different things and it didn't provide value, didn't provide any type of solution for them. And now you're reaching to them on the back end and you're showing up with some type of solution, right? Again, if you're waiting this long, your options get less. Okay. So you guys understand what I'm looking at here, right? You understand how I broke down just focusing on the ones that happened in the last 3 months on the tail end of their 90 days, as far as a notice of default. I want to door knock those ones, right? And then the ones that are in trustee sale, I want to door knock those ones. I want to make sure I'm calling them, following up with them. The urgency level is super high with these. Okay. Any questions so far or any insight? Anybody want to add anything?
I will.
Go ahead, Patty. And I was waiting for you.
On the NTSs, if you're new at door knocking and you feel sure of yourself, go ahead and knock them because you'll have a conversation most of the time. If you just want to practice door knocking, knowing you can't help them, still door knock them because they'll talk to you.
Yeah. Is that
I don't know if I added anything.
I don't know if you cut out. What was that?
I said, I don't know if I added anything.
No, but I mean, you're absolutely right. They're going to be more eager to talk to you. They're going to, again, you're going to build better skills because you're able to now transition more to people saying, no, I don't want to talk. You're going to be able to transition the conversation more towards what you do, how you do it, where you could help. And that's where you're going to be able to get better and master that craft, right?
And the reason being, guys, because trustee sales, they're like on their last days. They're looking for quick solutions. So they're most likely going to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So going back to these ones right now, all of these right now that are older, I mean, again, they haven't been updated. Either the NOD's on hold. Yes, you can still door knock them. I'm just telling you guys how to cherry pick this list of what started as 85. It went down to 63, and then what we're really left with on the back end of that. Does that make sense?
Pretty much make the most out of your time, guys.
Yes. Because when you go door knocking, you want to have more conversations. When you go door knocking, you want to be able to provide more solutions. When you go door knocking, you want to make sure that you're not just out there for 2 hours, and not get anything out of it. Again, there's people here that absolutely love this strategy and you get really good opportunities with this, right? And then there's other people that say, hey, I'd rather be behind the phone. That's okay, guys. Partner up with each other and then be able to say, hey, I'll handle all the phone calls. You handle all the door knocking, but make sure you carry your weight. But that's how we complement each other. And that's how the leverage factor works here when you're squatting up, teaming up, building up those relationships, right? Excuse me. Yeah. So where was I at with this one? So yeah, so I'm going to get rid of all of these over here. This is going to be my focus, but I want to Hold on, let's see, January. I want to get rid of these ones that just went into default because I personally don't want to spend that time going over here right now. If you guys want to add this to your list and add it as a follow-up and be part of that follow-up process for the next 90 days or whatever whenever they want to fill you in, you're more than welcome to do that. I'm just trying to show you guys how you're going to move a lot quicker by focusing on stuff that is already down that line. So these are properties I would not go and hit up, right? So I'm going to get rid of all of January NODs. So now my list that started as 84 is now down to 30. You guys see that? Okay. So this is what I'm going to focus on. Why did I put these trustee sales inside of here? Oh, some of these, that's another thing I wanted to show you guys. Some of these trustee sales are super old, right? Now, I'll give you an example. Scotty and I are working on that Fontana house. Okay. It's already has a sales date. It's been ready to sell. As soon as she lifts the bankruptcy, it's going to be good to sell. Like they're going to put it on auction. What's holding it back is the bankruptcy right now. Okay. That might be why these are still there. Because remember, when it has a sales date, you only have 21 days. So that's, again, is the file being updated? Is it getting to the point where, you're looking at something that is, not of a benefit? Again, I can't tell you guys that. Not everyone knows to file. Not everyone knows the different strategies that you can to, I guess, put it on hold, right? But at the end of the day, it's going to be inevitable if they're not doing anything to bring it back current. They're going to lose the house, right? So I don't focus on these ones too much. Now, I'll focus on the back end of December, right? But like these November ones and the early December, they've already exhausted their time frame, right? Again, it's 21 days. Okay. This right here is 21 days. You guys got where I'm going with this. Okay. So I'm not going to focus on these when it comes down to that. I want to be able to focus on the ones that I still have some time in there. Now, again, let's go here. Let's clear this. I went from 63 now down to 24. Okay. Any questions on this so far? Anything at all? If not, I'm going to keep going. Okay. Is this adding value to you guys? Can I get like a 1 in the chat? Are you guys all sleeping on me? Because I know everyone is. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Some type of participation. Love it. All right, guys. So adding this information to my router, I'm going to show you guys what I do. It doesn't mean that you guys have to use the same system. Now, if you're going to be teaming up, this is the one change I'm doing. And I'm not here to run your guys' businesses for you. I need your guys' participation. I know that we're going to have the callers. We're going to have the dialers, right? We're going to have the SMS. We're going to have the deal machine to help you guys, organize everything. But the idea here, guys, is that I want to be able, if I know that there's going to be a team focusing in Ontario, focusing on Riverside or whatever, I don't mind mapping it out for you guys and us working and collaborating together. Okay. Even on the LA side, I know Cisco just came on, but wherever I can help, I want to be able to put something together for you guys so that you guys have a route and what that looks like and why that's important, right? So 24 properties. Remember, it takes about 10 to 12 properties. You're doing it for 2 hours. So this is about 4 hours worth of work, or 2 days, or you could do it all in one day. I know like Patty and Jose, they usually knock out, 40 properties in a day, 20 properties in a day, right? Some people, they only do the 10 properties in one day and they take the 2 hours to go door knocking, right? And that's it. So again, it's up to you, however many you want to do. But the way that I like to bring this up now is, let me save this, lower it. So I use this thing. It's Route Planner. Again, some of you guys already know I have a logistics company, so that's why I use this. It's something I already pay for my logistics company and how I do some of my routing on there. Okay. So import. I know there's some free dialers or free routers that are out there. Scotty, do you want to cover how Waymaker routes to for those people that have Property Radar and stuff? Are you there, Scott?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know if Waymaker routes them, but there's a
Okay.
free service. It's called routexl.com.
There you
And
go. Could you put
import
that
up-
link in the chat for everyone to see that too?
Yeah, you can route up to 20 addresses for free.
So there you guys go. Okay.
Property Radar will route 23 houses.
Oh, nice.
We may want to add that segment to here for those people that have Property Radar. That would definitely help. So if one of you two want to cover that, it would be super helpful. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm just importing my file. Everything may have different ways of looking at it or whatever, but I'm just going to grab the information that's important to what I need when I go out there, right? So obviously the addresses, I'm going to put their unit numbers there because some of these, like I said, were condos, right? Address. On here, it gives you the option to be able to have comments when you route this. So I always like to add some of this information as their comments. So right here, as far as what was this one? The lien amount. I'm going to go ahead and put under comments. The filing date, I'm going to put that under comments. The status, I'm going to put that under comments. And then where it says their names, I'm going to put this in the title. Some people have multiple, owners. Some people, it's just them by themselves, right? And that's all I need here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit import. Set my goals. So again, I like to say, hey, let me break this down in 2-hour segments. You know what I mean? I know if I have time to knock out 2 routes, then I'll do the 2 routes. If I don't have time, I know I just knock out 1 route and I dedicated that 2 hours for that. Why is this important to route this? Okay. It's because you don't want to go, as you guys can see here, right? You don't want to go all these little green dots. Let's say you had the house over here on the 6th and Vineyard area. And then you're like, oh shit, I'm going to go all the way down here to Euclid and the 60 freeway. Okay, my next address is up here. Like you see, I mean, I hope you guys are following my mouse here, but you don't want to hop around everywhere. You want to make the best out of your time, right? You want to be able to turn a street and go to the next house, turn another street, go to the next house, because it's your time and it's your money. Okay. It's the gas that you're putting in there. So you want to make sure you build a route, not just go out there and pull the list. So if it's this, which is my route online that you could, pay for and utilize. If it's Route XL, you could use that. If it's Property Radar, they route the 23, you could use that. But guys, just put a rhyme and reason to what you're doing. Don't just go out there and just be like, oh, I got a list. And then you're only doing so many in a day. And you're wondering, why are you wasting so much time? Because you're not taking the time to route it, right? Where was I at? Max stop. So I set this up to 10. I usually put it 12 just in case if I have time, then I'll hit that up and then route my. If you guys want to start at your home or end at your home, then you could also add that factor to here as well. Okay. So you could add a start address or a finish address so that it routes it to that. You start at the furthest point and you come in, or you start at the closest or nearest point, and then you work your way out. Right. So you could see right here, this gave me 2 different routes. Go ahead, Angel.
Hey, so we're talking about door knocking right now, but how many people do you see that are cold calling and still reaching the same amount of success? Or are those success rates different, or are they relatively the same? Or is like people working together doing the same thing as you said earlier?
So the reason why we're doing this challenge the way that it is, and thank you for your question, Angel. And I'll get to the success rate if that's what you're really looking for as far as like a KPI, right? You know, to be quite frank with you, every strategy works. It's the question if you're working the strategy. Okay. When you're doing phone calls, you're gonna have to go through a lot more calls before you get a motivated person, a motivated seller. You're gonna go through a lot more FUs or hangups before you get that. So you may go through 300, 400, 500 calls before you get that. When you're door knocking and you're providing value, you're providing education, and you're showing up different, the success rate is a lot faster simply because you're catching them at the right time. That's why we said, hey, pool list within this criteria. Second is that you're showing up different, and then you're following up with them, and they keep on seeing Angel, like, man, this dude doesn't stop. Like he's serious about helping me. And so then the success rate's a lot faster when it comes to you showing up in person versus the phone call. Remember, everyone's getting phone calls, everyone's getting text messages, everyone's getting mailers, but that's the flow of it when it comes down. Does that answer your question, Angel?
Yeah, thank you. And I also had another question because
Yeah.
I've been driving, so I haven't been able to see like all the information that you're like changing all the foreclosures. Sorry. So are you gonna where do these videos get posted?
I'll show that at the end. Well, I'll go back to the thing. There's a video vault thing that we set up, so it's a lot easier to work with.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. So going back to it, you could see, let me zoom in on the route here. So it starts here, and then you work your way to 2, 3, and then you work your way down, right? If you want to switch this up where you want to do this, the bottom half one day, you could do that. And then, you know, add these ones to another route for another day. If you want to break it into quadrants where you're focusing on this quadrant for this day, this quadrant for next day, and so on, you could do that. But you could see there's a flow to it, right? I'm not going all over the place. I'm covering one side, the west side, and then the other day I'm covering the east side of Euclid, right? But everything has a flow to this. That's why it's super important that you guys do that, because this is what you guys need when it comes down to it. Now, I could save this, I could print it out, I could do so many different things with it. If this is something that you guys want, we could definitely add it. Angel, do you still have a question, or is your hand just up? I could lower it. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, Andre, no, you're good, brother.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I just have a quick question going back to when people are in NTS. What is some value that we could provide to them when they're in that stage because they only have 21 days besides sell their home? Like what? Like,
So it's not that I don't want to not answer that, but that's a lot of what we're covering in tomorrow's call. We're going to go in a lot more detail because that's why we're dedicating a full day to that. Because there's just so much to add to that, bro. You know what I mean? So a lot of times you could get your creative deals with that. A lot of times you could come in and again, the modification time frame may not be there, right? The mortgage relief time frame may not be there. But yes, you know, that's a lot of times where you're going to find your deals in that, but we're going to cover a lot of that on tomorrow's call. Cool deal.
sounds good. Yeah. Thank you.
Patty, did you raise your hand?
May I
Patty?
add something?
Yes, go ahead.
If you have a 21-day NTS sale out there and you go to California Mortgage Relief, there's a spot where they ask the question, has your sale been listed yet? And if you say yes to that question, they will move your application to the front of the pile to get it done.
Ooh.
Thank you for that. But again, a lot of that's going to be coming tomorrow. Thank you, Andre, for asking that. All right, guys. So that's what we utilize for routing this. I'm going to save this route. Save. So again, we're gonna break this down. If the people are looking for help with this kind of stuff, we will set up routes for you guys as long as you're gonna stay committed to that route, and we'll make sure that we're adding the new ones as they come on a weekly basis. And again, we'll revisit this part, but that's pretty much pulling your list. Okay. That's exactly what it comes down to. what it looks like for routing it and why. Okay. I know we got a lot of questions around one, where do I watch this again? And two, covering the process. The process will be covered tomorrow with a lot more detail that goes along with it. Okay. But going back to the video portion of it. So at the top, it says Video Vault. Okay. Put the link in there again for this. Excuse me. So you click on Video Vault and you can see all of the videos are here. There's one thing I want to do is we're going to file these away so you can see some of them are from October, and then we're going to add all of the new videos to this as well. So it's a lot easier to follow through, but usually it's in order from older videos to your more recent ones on the bottom. So today, when we're done with this portion of it, you guys will get this recording in here so you can follow through. And then again, we put our emails and our texts, our numbers in there. Understand, guys, like I am constantly talking. I am constantly on the phone. I'm constantly, you know what I mean? So if you guys shoot me a text, it'll just be a little bit before I get back to you, but I just treat it in level of priority as far as time that it got sent to me. And I'll get right back to you guys with a text or a call. So don't freak out if I don't get back to you right away. Okay. Like look at right now, my phone's probably blowing up with text messages and I haven't even looked at it. So I have to catch up with all those people as soon as we're done with this phone call, right? And it's the same thing that goes on throughout the day. So make sure that you guys, again, come back to here, fill out the form today, okay? Make sure this gets done, all right? And then you could see everything that happens here. If you're going to start doing work today, start reporting. This, when you report your activity, it is not your goals. This is your actual activity. Okay. We've had people put their goals here before. Put what you actually did at the end of the day, or tomorrow you could put what you completed today. Okay. But just make sure that you add it into there. All right. Videos, organization of that. We'll put the teams together. So leverage as far as creating the teams around the area. Once all the participants are in there, then we will go from there as far as creating the teams today in day one. Okay. All right, guys, that was a lot. That was a lot for sure. Let me get back to the share. Is this thing out there? It is. Okay. All right, guys. So again, I'm super excited to kick this off. You guys know how to pull a list. You guys know how to route your list. You guys know as far as putting your information in there so that we could be able to start getting that going. If you're someone that's out of state, I know there's the majority of us are here in Southern California. I'll get to you right now, Michael. But if you're going to participate as far as helping with phone calls, right, or helping with what do you call it, sending emails, the follow-up portion of it, you're still could be part of this, guys. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we do deals in Texas, we do deals in Florida, right? We do deals North California, Southern California, Ohio. Like, we're not everywhere physically, but because we've built these kind of relationships, we're able to work on them together. Okay. So make sure if you guys are not in the Southern California area, don't just count yourself out. See who you can work with so you can make the phone calls. You could help, build this up as a team effort. Go ahead, Michael. You have a question, sir?
I do. Matter of fact, you were hitting on it because I live in Atlanta. So I was trying to figure out how I could bring value to this. And also, would we be able to pull lists for the Atlanta area? I don't have PropStream. I have Privy.
Okay.
But would we be able to pull lists for the Atlanta area?
Yeah, so I will look at that. I have not pulled a foreclosure list in Atlanta, but you have my number. Again, put the stuff inside there so everyone has it fresh. Just shoot me a text message of like your area, your city, and whatnot, and then I will get with you specifically in your area, so it's time well spent with you. You know what I mean? As far as Atlanta, does that make sense? So, if you could, let me know what areas around you in Atlanta that you want to do, or if it's just Atlanta, you know what I mean? Again, let me know. But we'll pull a list specifically for you on that. Does that answer that question for you?
Yeah, it does. I just want to make sure that I can bring value to the group.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up. Yeah, so and then look we have a Vittorio. Vittorio's in Italy. You know what I mean? So I know he's not going to be flying out here to be door knocking with us, right? But I know he's willing to get on the phones. He's willing to send emails. He's willing to help keep that flow going where he can. So again, this is one segment, guys, of multiple things that we're going to do, right? Driving for dollars. Okay. I know, Michael, you could be driving for dollars in your area. I know Vittorio, he doesn't go driving for dollars in his area, but he could virtually do that on this side of town. You know what I mean? In the States. So we're not going to go too heavy in virtual driving for dollars, but it's something that we will bring up when it comes down to it. I'm in New York. I can do cold calls, do follow-ups, and yep, there you go. You see what I mean? So
there you go.
You see, guys, like this is the game changer right now. Thank you guys for jumping on. Michael, thank you for asking that question. Did I answer that for you, sir?
You did. I appreciate it. Thank you, Brandon.
No worries. I love this, guys. So again, we pulled the list, we went through all that, we went through the challenge, we went through the site. You guys have all the links that you need to get today started. Don't waste that. If you go just door knock one house, you know what I mean? Just get your feet wet, dip your toes in the water. You know what I mean? Break through today and tell yourself, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And today's going to be the day where shit changes because I'm taking action. Okay. So I appreciate you guys. Unless you don't have any questions or anything like that in the chat, I don't see anything else popping up. Appreciate Scotty's Facebook support on the door knocking. Yes. I love that. You're invited. Okay, so Leo's just dropping in the links in there. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Much love. I really do appreciate you guys showing up today. I'm really excited to see where this is gonna go. I want to end it with this. When we did this challenge, Anne was only a couple of days in the business, right? She took this super serious. Her and her husband took it super, super serious. And within 19 days, 20 days or so, they closed their first deal from being brand spanking new in this industry, not just to the club or to the challenge or to anything like that, just them being new to everything. They trusted in the system. They trusted in me to help them get their deal to the finish line. And now it's a full operating Airbnb. You know what I mean? That we have revenue that comes in every single day, or well, not day, but month. You know what I mean? But we have all of February booked. The majority of next month is already booked, right? And that came through this challenge, guys. You know what I mean? So again, it does work. And I want to be able to say so many more names through this challenge of people that took full advantage of the opportunity and the leverage factor here. So with that saying, guys, I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys jumping on. Let's start taking care of business. It's 15 before 9. So I'm super stoked right now. My ass is on fire to get this thing rolling, right? So I hope you guys feel the same way. If you guys don't have any more questions or anything like that, let's get it going. Let's go. So let's make sure we take care of business tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The same link. I'm going to update the sheet so that you guys have all of that on there as well. Okay. This video will be up before tomorrow morning, so you guys could rewatch this and then we could go from there. Far from the GOAT, but I'll take it. I appreciate that for sure. But I'm just practicing my craft to master it, guys. That's all it is, So all right, guys, much love. I'll talk to you guys later. With that said, peace out.
Have a good one, guys.